everybody. It is John the Comic Guy, and today I want to talk about facsimile comics. When you're talking facsimile comics, I think you could also say in parentheses reprinted comics, and or the more risky part of it is possibly counterfeit comics. And I'm going to talk about all three today, and we'll just have an open discussion. So first of all, do you like facsimile comics? Personally, I do. I like them because they actually do have good places in my personal collection. The first is if I have the originals and they're slabbed. These facsimiles are a great way for me to reread these comics. They're great stories, the art's great, so this is how I can, without even considering cracking a slab open, enjoy those stories again. The other area is so many of these original books are so out of the price range for me. So these facsimile comics are really the only way I'm going to have access to these without buying like the hardcover. And again, because I'm OCD, I like the same format as a comic book. So while I do have some hardcovers, I prefer the actual floppy, which is a great way to store them in the comic boxes where I keep the rest of these series that I collect. So I do like them. Do you? And let me show you a couple that I'm referring to. The first is Amazing Spider-Man 300. This is great. Clearly, this is put out by Marvel, so this is legit. This is as legit as it gets. It has the UPC symbol. It has the number, but it's a different price. So if you're a comic collector, if you're an enthusiast and you see this, odds are, while you may get get excited the first second you see the cover, once you see the dollar amount and once you see this UPC symbol, you realize, it's obviously a reprint. So with this also, this particular facsimile has glossy pages. So they made it beautiful. They made this facsimile beautiful, whereas the original, as you know, is newsprint. Another version of this book I got for free from Castillo Comics, right? They sent me this as a gift for my YouTube channel. And this book is beautiful. I like it because even though it's a facsimile cover, comic, they made the cover enhanced, and it made it into a collectible in its own right. I love it. So, when they're doing things like that, it just boosts it for me more, and they make it a collectible in its own right, and I really enjoy that. So I do like facsimile covers. Here's now, as they start progressing, I think maybe starts getting a little bit more confusing, because this is before they had the UPC with the comics. This one doesn't have a price, right? So people are going to start questioning it, but I think if you're into comic books, you're going to know pretty quickly this is the Loot Crate edition. So it doesn't take long to realize you have a facsimile in your hands. Then you have a couple that do have a price on there. It looks an awful lot like the original. However, it's thinner, right? It doesn't have the all those different stories that were in the original. It just has the Superman story. So there are still ways to at least identify these comics as facsimiles. So I like them. I assure you, I'm not going to be getting any kind of Action Comic #1 originals in my lifetime. Now, in the confusing meter, a little higher, is the Avengers 57. You look at this, and that is a beautiful facsimile of Avengers 57, which I have graded, but it has the UPC symbol. So again, as you're flipping through it, you may look at it and say, wow, that's high grade. And once you see it, you'll know, right? You're going to know it's a facsimile. And I think as long as you know it's a facsimile, you're not going to get ripped off. The likelihood is, if you're a comic collector, you're not going to get ripped off. So I'm perfectly fine with it. But now, before I start showing you my last three quote-unquote facsimiles, let me thank our sponsor, simply because these are in Comic Skins. ComicSkin.com, our sponsor, Mark, is giving 5% off on all Comic Skins, the singles, the 5-packs, and the 10-packs. At checkout, all you have to do is put in the coupon code John the Comic Guy 5. John the Comic Guy 5 to claim your 5%. You can get a 5-pack, get a single, 5-pack, or a 10-pack. John the Comic Guy 5. So look at this. I saw these on eBay. They were listed as facsimiles. So I bought them knowing full well these were not the originals. These are beautiful. The only thing that when I got them, I started questioning it is there's nowhere in the book that says facsimile. That concerned me because then I started reading people were buying these trying to artificially and prematurely age them. And that tells me there's deceit going on. So they're buying these the inside is newsprint. The inside actually has pages that have slightly off-white pages. So this is a 9.6, but if they get it and people are trying to artificially, prematurely age these, why would they do that? Obviously, there's deceit going on. So, and that concerns me because there's nowhere printed in here that this is a facsimile. So did Marvel get a cut of this? Do they endorse that? Questionable. I don't know. If you know, please mention this in the comment section for me, but I don't know. I just know this is a beautiful copy. And when I saw this on eBay, because of my OCD, you know, they have all different types of reprints of these books. Sometimes they have borders. They have different prices. Ideally for me, I would like to have one as close to the original, knowing full well it's not an original, but as close as possible to the original as I can possibly get. And this is the way to accomplish that. But I knew this is a facsimile because it was sold as that. And possibly, you could even say a little more, this may be a counterfeit. The next book, again, bought it on eBay. And all of these ones from eBay, these quote-unquote facsimiles, I had to pay between $80 to $100. This, again, does not have anything in here stating that is a facsimile book. So I really do not know if Marvel got a cut. Pardon me, if Marvel got a cut of this. But it's beautiful. Front and back, inside covers have the same ads as the originals. And the pages are newsprint looking off-white. Off-white, almost to white. Pardon me. The one thing that's clear is because they look so close, but when you open them, they don't give off any kind of that old comic book smell. There are a lot of red flags, but I'm curious, have any of you also bought these as well? Have you seen that dealer on eBay? I haven't seen it. In fact, I really haven't looked for the past 2-3 years, but have you seen these? These look amazing. The last book I'm going to share, probably not surprising to any of you which book it is, Amazing Fantasy 15, facsimile, or counterfeit. I don't know. I'm leaning towards thinking these are counterfeit, and I probably should one day, if I ever were driven to change these labels, I would probably put counterfeit instead of facsimile. But again, I try to be as accurate as I can from the source. And the source who sold them to me said they were facsimiles. So for now, I'll keep facsimile, but then, you know, not only is that from the source, but in my mind, then there's a common sense thinking, if people are starting to take these and age them, there are some nefarious actions going on, and maybe I should just mark down counterfeit. But please let me know. Mark off in our comment section. Do you buy these? Have you bought them? Do you consider these facsimile books, or do you consider them counterfeit books? Initially, I would have to say, without further information, I believe that they would probably be considered counterfeit. So if I had to put my vote in, the last 3 that you saw that do not demark anywhere in the books that it is a facsimile from Marvel, I have to lean towards counterfeits, but I really don't know, but I did want to share these with you. So let me know in the comment section, are you aware of these comics? Do you collect facsimile books? Are you good with it for the same reason I am? Because you can't afford the originals, like I can't, and or you have them already slabbed and now you could read them and enjoy them. Let me know. So everybody, if you're enjoying this content, I'm going to ask you to please hit the subscribe button. Also, if you see that bell, if you click on the bell, whenever I come out with a new episode, which is approximately once a week, unless I'm on vacation, I'm going to try to come out with a new episode every week. But when I release one, you'll get a chime notice. And also let me know what you think of facsimiles and counterfeit books. So everybody, I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you soon.